So this is the solution to exemplar problems for class 6 NCERT, question 76B from ratio and proportion. The question is, you have been given a shape, a grid, and they said it's tiles, and the whole shape is made from several tiles of 60 centimeter by 10 centimeter, 40 centimeters, sorry, and the central part of it, one part of it, having these 6 tiles, they are shaded. So the B part of it is find out the area of the shaded portion to the area of the unshaded portion. Okay, so that I represent it over here. So any kind of a ratio problem where a shape has been given, it's always a good idea for you to also draw the shape yourself and mark the lengths clearly. Okay, when you do your own diagram and you mark your own lengths, you get a better understanding of what is it that you are dealing with. All right, so over here then I said, okay, so what is the entire area of this, because we are dealing with areas in this case. So you have to bring your mensuration knowledge into play over here. Each one of these tiles is 60 centimeter and there are 4 tiles. So I put the length of the entire thing as 240 centimeters and the height of the entire thing as being 40 centimeters multiplied by 5 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is 200 centimeters. That is not necessary for this particular problem, but I like putting those numbers there so that I get a sense of what I am talking about. Now come to the area of the shaded portion, this interior portion over here that is shaded. Okay, I know each one of these is 60 centimeters and there are 2 tiles, so it's 60 times 2. The height of each one of these tiles is 40 centimeters and there are 3 tiles, so it is 40 times 3. The product of these two will make it 120 times 120, that is the area of the shaded portion. Now, before you multiply the two numbers, keep it as it is. I have a nice trick at the end which helps you get an answer fairly quickly. So when you get problems like this, you have to find out the area, the ratio of two different areas. Don't be in a hurry to multiply. Keep them as a product and you'll soon understand why. Now the area of the rest of it, there are many ways to do that. You can find out the area of the whole tile and then subtract the area of the inner tiles, or as one of you said, the easier thing to do is find out the area of one and multiply it by the number of tiles. So the area of one tile is obviously 60 multiplied by 40, and there are 14 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 tiles. So then you put it as 14 multiplied by 40 times 60. So the neat trick that I was talking about, and I'll demonstrate that again so that's clearly visible, is that now you try to find out the ratio between these two areas. So it will be 120, let me just change the color, 120 times 120 divided by 14 times 40 times 60. Okay, so don't be confused by the brackets. The bracket just says that I have to multiply the 14 with the 40 and the 60. I'm just writing it as 14 times 40 times 60. Same thing. Now, the benefit of keeping them as multiples comes out. Why? Because 60 is 60 divides 120 into 2, right? So 60 times 2 is 120. Straight away I got an answer. 40 is 3 times 120. Okay, so immediately the large numbers have become very relatively smaller handleable numbers, and there is 14 here and 2 here, so 2 times 7 is 14. So in just a couple of quick calculations, we arrived at the answer 3 upon 7, and therefore the ratio of the area of shaded portion to the area of the unshaded portion comes out as 3:7. Okay, so that's dealt with that problem. Question 77 also It's a similar problem about areas, but it's a slightly different form. You have a shape, 10 units by 10 units. They don't say whether it is centimeters, meters, or anything, just 10 units here and 10 units here. And it's been divided into 3 sections, section 1, section 2, section 3. And again, draw the diagram. Okay, when you draw the diagram, you get a sense of like how the space is divided up. And then write down all the details that are given in the question. So the height of this section 1 is 5. The width of this section 3 is also 5. And the height of the section 3 is 7, all same units. Now we proceed to find out the areas of the 3 individual portions, because the questions asked what is the ratio of area 1 to section 1 to section 2, section 3 to section 2, and so on and so forth. So you have to find out the areas. The simplest one is is section 3, because the breadth is given 5 and the height is given 7. So 7 times 5 immediately 35 units, square units. Section 1 is the next one. It's easy because this whole thing is 10. This part is 5. So obviously this length is also 5. And the length is, the breadth is 5, the height is 5. So the area is 25 square units. Now for the third one, you can do it in different ways. You can section it off like this, and you can say that I know this is 7. The whole thing is therefore 5. If this is 5, this is also 5. Okay. If this is 7, then this has to be 2. So you can find out 2 times 5, and then the remaining will be 3 times 10. You can do it like that and then add the 2 up, but there's a cleverer way to do this. You know the entire area is 10 by 10. So that is 100 square units. You subtract that from the area of, subtract from that the area of section 1, section 2, that is 35 and 25. So you get 100 minus 60 and the area pops out as 40 square units. Now you can proceed to answer the rest of the problem. So once you have got the areas, the ratios work out to be simple.